Sarasota, Florida. Late evening, March 18, 2025. What started as a routine traffic stop on Fruitville Road quickly turned into a heated confrontation between a police officer and a politically connected local businessman. Bodycam footage captured every second of the encounter, from speeding accusations to threats about careers, influence, and power.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sir? Officer Beskin, Sarasota Police Department. You're on audio and video recording. The reason for the stop: you were observed going 57 and a 40, and you were on your phone texting while you were doing that.
The officer begins the stop by saying the driver was caught going 57 in a 40 zone while texting behind the wheel.
That was at Euclid and Fruitville.
You don't need to point at the officer.
I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing in the direction where it was.
I just called the chief. How's that?
Go right ahead, sir. Can I see
know
your
who I
license?
am, right?
Yes, sir, I do. Can I see your license, registration, insurance, please?
You can do this?
But almost immediately, the driver becomes irritated when the officer points toward the area where the violation happened.
I'm sorry? I still have a job to do, sir.
Yeah.
As the officer calmly asks for license, registration, and insurance, the driver responds by mentioning powerful connections. The officer apologizes for the inconvenience, but reminds him she still has a job to do. The driver now asks for the officer's name, while the officer continues requesting the required documents. Instead of handing over the registration, the driver keeps arguing and questioning her behavior.
What's your name?
Officer Beskin, it's going to be on the citation. Can I see your insurance, registration, and your license, please? Sir, can I have your paperwork, please? 7 years, sir.
The officer repeatedly asks for the registration, but the driver accuses her of embarrassing him. Now the driver starts bringing up city officials and political names, trying to show influence.
Can I see your registration, please? You're not going to give me your registration, sir.
You arrest me?
I'm asking you if you're going to produce me with your registration.
I have it.
You don't have it on you?
Look, go call the chief. Tell him how rude you've just been to me. Blame this video.
Okay.
He tells the officer to call powerful people in the city, clearly trying to pressure her, but the officer ignores the intimidation and sticks to procedure. The driver warns her that she's making career decisions right now.
I'm asking you if you have your registration.
You're making career decisions.
Okay,
Why
sir.
are you doing this?
Sir, because you were speeding and you were texting.
Says who? Where's your video?
All right.
I just spoke to your boss.
Okay.
That's not okay.
You want your paperwork?
Is it your Russian immigrant status that makes you talk to people like this?
At this point, the tension becomes impossible to ignore. Both sides are visibly frustrated, and the traffic stop is already spiraling beyond a normal citation. The driver demands a supervisor, claiming he already contacted the officer's boss. Then the confrontation becomes personal, as the driver makes comments about the officer's background. The officer immediately radios dispatch and requests a supervisor to respond to the scene.
10-4-10-6.
Call the supervisor.
14 dispatch, can you have my supervisor respond, please?
Yeah. And then we'll see who goes.
You don't want your paperwork?
6142, can you be 51
You don't have a warrant.
Even with the confrontation escalating, she continues processing the stop. The driver refuses to discuss anything further until a supervisor arrives.
Sir, you're going to be issued a
Interested in
citation.
Anything you have to say. I'll wait for the supervisor.
You can wait for the supervisor, but I'm going to go through what I need to go.
The officer officially issues the first citation, speeding 57 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. She explains the fine amount and the legal options available.
No, I'm not interested.
You are going to be issued a
There's
citation.
the registration.
Well, you've been already issued a citation for that.
For what?
For failing to produce your registration.
All
Right. Sir, you're going to be issued a
here.
citation 57 and a 40 for speeding. Your fine is
right here.
$256. Information in the back.
It's
You're
right
going to have
here.
an option to
It's on
plead
your
guilty.
camera.
She also explains that traffic school could reduce both the fine and license points. But instead of listening, the driver continues talking about the officer's reputation.
An option to plead not guilty and an option to take a safe driver's course. If you qualify for the course, it will reduce your fine and it will reduce your points. If you decide to go ahead and do that, just make sure you do it prior to submission of payment.
The officer keeps repeating the same thing. She's simply doing her job. The driver insists he's a law-abiding citizen and accuses the officer of being disrespectful.
You know what he said about you? You want to hear what he said about you?
He could say all he wants about me. I got a job to do, sir.
You know what he said about you?
If you fail to complete...
Okay.
Despite the growing hostility, the officer continues reading the citations calmly and professionally. A second ticket is issued, this time for texting while driving.
And he's going to have you again.
And that's fine.
It's not fine. Why do you keep saying it's fine?
Sir?
I'm a law-abiding citizen, and you're being bloody rude to me.
If you decide to go ahead and do the court, just make sure you do it prior to submission of payment, as they do require a certificate of completion. If you sign up for it, you must complete it, otherwise they will go ahead and suspend your license.
The driver repeatedly calls the officer a liar, insisting he did provide the registration. The officer says the supervisor is on the way and offers to remain on scene until they arrive. She also asks him several times to move away from traffic for safety reasons.
You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving. Okay? You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving. Your fine is $116.
But the driver interprets the repeated instructions as disrespect and attitude. With tensions continuing to rise, the officer requests another unit for backup. Over the radio, she sarcastically refers to the driver as extremely cooperative.
Sir, step back into your car or stand on the sidewalk so you don't get hit by a vehicle. It's for your safety. 14 radio, can I have another unit respond? Sir, stand over there. It's for my safety and for your safety. Sir? 10-4, the driver being extremely uncooperative.
What began as a simple traffic stop is now turning into a public power struggle. 5:38 to 5:47. The officer informs another unit that the driver refuses to leave until a supervisor arrives. 5:47 to 5:58. She also explains that 3 separate citations have already been issued. 5:58 to 6:14. The officer tells backup units that the driver threatened her career, while reminding them everything is recorded on Bodycam. 6:14 to 6:32. Even while waiting, the driver continues making calls to influential contacts. What began as a simple traffic stop is now turning into a public power struggle. 5:38 to 5:47. The officer informs another unit that the driver refuses to leave until a supervisor arrives. 5:47 to 5:58. She also explains that 3 separate citations have already been issued. 5:58 to 6:14. The officer tells backup units that the driver threatened her career, while reminding them everything is recorded on Bodycam. 6:14 to 6:32. Even while waiting, the driver continues making calls to influential contacts. 6:32 to 6:40, he mentions personal friendships with people inside the police department. But the officer answers with a single sentence. Nobody is above the law. He mentions personal friendships with people inside the police department. But the officer answers with a single sentence. Nobody is above the law.
You're more than... you're an influential person.
Very.
You can go ahead and do that.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Why not just say you're sorry?
Because I did nothing wrong, sir. I was doing my job, but I am...
The driver insists the issue was never the tickets themselves. To him, the real issue was the officer's attitude from the very beginning. The officer reminds him he can challenge every citation in court. But the driver says he's not fighting the tickets. He's fighting her behavior.
Okay. Sir, I have nothing more to say to you, sir. You requested my supervisor. You can have the conversation with them now.
He demands an apology. The officer refuses. She again asks him to move to a safer area away from passing traffic. By this point, the officer completely stops arguing and waits for supervisors to take over.
Sarge Frangione is on his way.
Okay.
Speeding 57.
When backup officers arrive, the entire situation is summarized for them. The responding officers already seem to know exactly who the driver is. They confirm he's already been cited and is now waiting for command staff.
7 and a 40, texting while driving, failure to produce his registration. When I asked, he told me I could look it up.
Okay. You know who he is?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Moments later, another senior supervisor arrives at the scene. The driver immediately begins complaining about the registration citation. He insists the registration was available the entire time and claims the officer intentionally ignored it. He accuses the officer of trying to prove herself and promises there will be consequences.
I guess you talked to Sergeant Frangione by the phone?
I did, yeah.
Okay, he's on his way. She requested another unit, so that's why another unit.
Someone a ticket for no registration when they've got their registration.
The driver says the body cam footage will reveal exactly what happened during the stop. He reminds officers that he's lived in the city for decades and has strong relationships within the department. The supervisors attempt to calm the situation and move the conversation away from traffic.
Price for being disrespectful. And I just wanted you to witness it, know that the registration was right there, and she deliberately chose to write the ticket. She came up, she said, the first... Look, there's a video of it, so be quiet. There's a video of what you said.
There is.
And I've got a video of what you said. Right? What she said was, I said, I don't have it. She immediately said, I write your citation. She went right back. She never said anything. She went straight back. I denied the citation. She's straight back, right the citation. I've lived here for 25 years. I've represented your unit. I've got no interest in listening to you, young lady.
I was talking to my sergeant, if you don't mind.
The driver says he doesn't care about the fines. For him, this was about dignity and respect. He claims this is the first time an officer has ever treated him this way. One supervisor listens carefully and acknowledges the frustration. But the driver keeps insisting he never expected special treatment. He only expected basic respect.
If we could step over off the road onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, just a second, officer.
Come on then.
Yeah, Mr. Hyde, like I said,
No.
you know...
I've represented you guys
Yes,
in
sir.
union discussions. My son is a cop. I'm friends with
Yes, sir.
everybody in the police department. This is the first time anybody has been disrespectful to me. And for what reason?
Meanwhile, officers begin discussing a review of the body camera footage. The officer who initiated the stop prepares to return to the station and upload her footage. Supervisors continue trying to calm the increasingly emotional confrontation. But the driver still refuses to let the issue go, accusing the officer of lying. He says he never cared about the speeding ticket. His real anger centers around the registration citation and the officer's tone.
I could care less. If they were going to write me a ticket, I could care less. I just pay the bloody thing. You don't think I got the money? It's the manner and the nature of it.
Okay.
The supervisors promise the body cam footage will be reviewed carefully. But the driver insists the officer recognized him immediately and treated him differently because of it. Supervisors explain that traffic officers are trained to enforce statutes exactly as written. Still, even they admit the interaction appeared tense. The driver continues asking why anyone would issue a registration citation after the document was eventually shown. One supervisor quietly admits the citation perhaps should have been reconsidered, but the driver believes the officer was simply on a power trip. He even hints that the officer's career may now be in danger. The supervisors remain neutral, trying to keep the discussion professional.
And like I said, Sergeant Frangione will be over here to talk to you about her interaction. Is Sergeant Frangione coming on his way here? Is that,
Yes.
He is?
Yes, he told me he was.
I just wait for him to get here and then. Well, let me give him a call real quick because that might help matters. No.
Proceed to the route.
Stay in your car.
I just wanted to know if you want me to go back to the station.
You can go to the station. Yep, go to the station. Hey, Martin.
You got that thing on?
Yeah, I have to leave it on.
Alright, so here's the thing. She lied. About the cell phone thing?
Okay.
She lied about I don't know, the speed. I could care less. You can give me the ticket all day long. I could care less about that. And then I gave her the registration, and she's, oh, registration? It's in the car there somewhere. She goes off, she writes me a ticket, she brings me back a citation. I said, there it is.
Okay.
And she still gives me it.
Okay. All right.
She's being funny. And the thing is, I appreciate that. I back you guys left, right, and centre.
I understand that. I do. Trust me, I do
And
know
I
that.
don't expect better treatment, but I don't expect worse treatment. If that's how you treat people.
In the end, a routine traffic stop became a confrontation about authority, respect, influence, and ego. And after reviewing the body cam footage, people online were left asking one major question. Was the officer simply enforcing the law? Or did the stop become personal the moment she recognized who the driver was?